What you have seen right now are the effects of climate change. Now, I will going to tackle about what are the causes of climate change. First, let me define what is climate change. Climate change is a long-term shift in weather conditions identified by changes in temperature, precipitation, winds, and other indicators. Climate change can involve both changes in average conditions and changes in variability, including, for example, extreme events. The Earth's climate is naturally variable on all time scales. However, its long-term state and average temperature are regulated by the balance between incoming and outgoing energy, which determines the Earth's energy balance. Any factor that causes a sustained change to the amount of incoming energy or the amount of outgoing energy can lead to climate change. Different factors operate on different time scales, and not all of those factors that have been responsible for changes in Earth's climate in the distant past are relevant to contemporary climate change. Factors that cause climate change can be divided into two categories: those related to natural processes and those related to human activity. In addition to natural causes of climate change, changes internal to the climate system, such as variations. Does climate change have natural causes? The Earth's climate can be affected by natural factors that are external to the climate system, such as changes in volcanic activity, solar output, and the Earth's orbit around the Sun. Of these, the two factors relevant on timescales of contemporary climate change are changes in volcanic activity and changes in solar radiation. Now let's talk about the human causes. Climate change can also be caused by human activities, such as the burning of fossil fuels and the conversion of land for forestry and agriculture. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, these human influences on the climate system have increased substantially. In addition to other environmental impacts, these activities change the land surface and emit various substances to the atmosphere. This in turn can influence both the amount of incoming energy and the amount of outgoing energy and can have both warming and cooling effects on the climate. The dominant product of fossil fuel combustion is carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas. The overall effect of human activities since the Industrial Revolution has been a warming effect, driven primarily by emissions of a carbon dioxide and enhanced by emissions of other greenhouse gases. The buildup of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has led to an enhancement of the natural greenhouse effect. It is this human-induced enhancement of the greenhouse effect that is concerned because ongoing emissions of greenhouse gases have the potential to warm the planet levels that have never been experienced in the history of human civilization. Such climate change could have far-reaching and/or unpredictable environmental, social, and economic consequences. What are the climate forcers? Carbon dioxide and other substances are referred to as the climate forcers because they force or push the climate towards being warmer or cooler. What can be done in climate change? Carbon dioxide is the main cause of human-induced global warming and associated climate change. It is a very long-lived gas, which means carbon dioxide builds up in the atmosphere with ongoing human emissions and remains in the atmosphere for centuries. Global warming can only be stopped by reducing global emissions of carbon dioxide from human fossil and combustion of industrial processes to zero. But even with zero emissions, the global temperature will remain essentially constant. At its new warmer level, emissions of other substances that warm the climate must also be substantially reduced. This indicates how difficult the challenge is. It is important to understand how the climate is changing so that we can prepare for the future. Remember, it is not your fault to have a climate change, but you have the power to reduce climate change.